The sub-Saharan nation of Namibia has consistently over the past decade been rated as one of the top emerging market economies in Africa. Yet unemployment and inequality still remain among the country's biggest challenges, with about 37% of the working population unemployed in 2017. Namibia's informal economy forms an estimated 40% of the country's national employment creation and is the fastest growing economic sector in the country. 70% of the informal workforce consists of women and 31% are men. Street vendors, grilled meat sellers, domestic workers, wood carvers, cattle herders, and cash workers who work off the radar are among the major operators in the informal industry. And most informal economy workers are young people, the population group most affected by the country's unemployment rate.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends, but some of them are working, but some of them are not.
Almost 40% of the Namibian population are employed in the informal economy. But we are also not only just talking about large number of people, but these are the most vulnerable of our society.
For to buy food and soap and to pay for the school, this is a very problem.
What ILO now has worked on is a recommendation, which is recommendation 204, which is looking at the transition from the informal to the formal economy. Namibia has just currently finished developing its Decent Work Country program, which will cover 2018 to 2023, and the informal economy is one area that is covered in the Decent Work Country program.
No government necessarily would want to have an informal economy, but if we face the reality of today, it's something that we cannot run away from, because the economies have not been performing well, and a lot of people tend to go into informal economy for survival, not like in the past where it was seen to be illegal activity. The understanding of the concept of informal economy is not consistent throughout the country.
The informal economy is a tough market for both employers and employees. Informal economy workers are paid less, have insecure income, have no employment benefits and social protection, and are often subjected to exploitative and adverse working conditions. And informal economy employers have no or limited access to capital because they are viewed as high risk.
It's hard first to start a capital by yourself. So you have to come up with an idea how to start the business.
Under Namibia's Social Security Act of 1994, the country's Social Security Commission administers all the collective funds in the government's major social protection funds. But to what extent do the government-mandated funds offer protection to the 40% of the country's workers who labour in the informal sector?
We are more dominating in terms of providing short-term benefits in Social Security. This includes an employment injury, which we traditionally call workers' compensation. And then we have a fund for maternity, sickness and death benefit fund. In terms of statutory coverage, we do ask all people who are employed, irrespective whether in the informal sector or in the formal sector, to register, and then they can benefit from these funds.
So actually we don't have enough income we can able to pay for Social Security. Some month maybe we will not pay Social Security, then other month maybe you will pay, which will be coming later affecting your payment.
For those who are working in smaller enterprises, sometimes they do not have regular income, and it's required that they must contribute regularly, otherwise they will miss out the benefits. So we also then need to see how we can accommodate them for short-term benefits in case they are unable to make regular contributions.
If you take statistics for Namibia, in early 90s we never had informal economy, a significant one. But now it is growing, and the graph is very steep upwards, which means that there is no way we can hide away from it. We need to adjust the policies, we need to include them in the Labour Act, we need to include them in social protection programs, and we need to start documenting them so that they enjoy the protections that every worker is enjoying.
In Namibia, informal economy workers are covered by some benefits, such as pensions and disability, as well as medical care benefits, because those entitlements are based on residence and not on past contributions.
You see, in Namibia there is no job. then women, we can just do something. We are not even waiting for the men to work. Even as women, we'll be strong, and then we can just get something to help even each other.
But there is a faction of business and government that reasons that the informal economy should not benefit from government assistance without contributing to government coffers in the form of taxes.
There are two negative aspects mainly. Number one is they don't fall under the main tax umbrella for particularly income tax and company tax. So they reap the benefits of government, which is paid for by the formal sector. The other is there is a tendency for them not to respect the rights of their workers. They don't like them, they don't like the look of their face this morning, buzz off. They don't register them for social security, they don't have pension fund, they don't normally give them medical aid or even maternity leave. So there's a tendency, not with all of them by any means, but there's a tendency for the worker to be exploited.
But it's a catch-22 situation. In reality, informal economy participants pay an array of local municipal taxes, operating fees, market tolls, and other permit fees. But these are often not counted as national tax contributions, which is why official recognition will benefit both government as well as the informal economy players.
We cannot expect now the informal sector to start paying taxes. They rather have to plow in money to the informal sector. There must be a mechanism first where we have a policy protecting the informal sector, as we said, and where we say, in terms of business, by law, how will we be protected so we don't welcome the taxes from government and we will not be able to pay it.
What I'm interested in, I don't want to see situations where we have formal and informal economy. I want to see us having economy, meaning that all the policies are tailored down to cater for whoever, irrespective of your abilities. We want an inclusive economy where everyone is enjoying whatever available within the economy and within social programs.
The money which I get from the products, I used to pay for my kids also. And I also buy for them grocery. If I get injured, it will be serious. So I have to sit maybe for 3 months or 2 months to recover.
So where does that leave Namibia's 40% of informal workers? What is to be done to bring them into the social protection fold? For representatives of the Namibia informal sector, though, the path seemed very clear.
One is the policy of the informal sector, which can recognize the informality. Secondly, at the local authority level, we have to go into certain agreements on how we can do things together, maybe in the form of MOUs. Thirdly, is that we are, of course, business people. We would like to grow and become part of the national economy.
The informal economy operators themselves must take the initiative to organize themselves into a force that will advance the agenda, that will inform the people about the existence of the informal economy, that will engage the policy and decision makers on issues affecting the informal economy. Nobody else can do that except themselves.
One of the things which is important with the informal economy is that there are many players and many people have different understandings of what the informal economy is. So it's very important as a starting point to possibly do a diagnostic to get a better understanding as to who are the players and basically how is it affecting certain sectors of the broader informal economy.
This film was brought to you by the International Labour Organization in partnership with the Government of Finland.